You are made for more.
But never rub it in your face like, oh, I've done more than you. No, don't do that. As a mentee, get a level of intellectual humility and actual humility, so that you don't make your mentor regret mentoring. That's what you don't.
Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.
Hello and welcome to the Made for More show with Maya. I'm delighted you joined us today. On the show, my goal is to help you discover yourself or true potentials, develop them, and then deploy them to make impact in every sphere of life that you have found yourself. Today we begin a series on career as a platform for deploying and expressing your truest potentials for impact, influence, and income. And I have just the exact guest who would help us, whose life exemplifies all we're talking about today. He's Mr. Ebuka Anichebe. Ebuka is a master communicator, he is a teacher, and he's also a marketing guru. Ebuka has facilitated trainings for almost all the government agencies you can think about, so he's a natural teacher. And then he's also a marketing guru. He's the one person you should go to when you have an idea and you need to take it from obscurity to prominence. Join me as I welcome Mr. Ebuka Anichebe on the show this morning. Ebuka, glad to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, and good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Happy New Year.
Same to see you. Yeah, it's been like years, right?
Years, right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Today we're discussing the journey of purpose, personal discovery, deployment, and development, right? All together in one. I want to have conversations about your life, what you've done, and many things have happened. So I know you're the face and the brain behind the Ask Ebuka brand.
Yes.
So what is that brand about?
Okay, so the Ask Ebuka brand is basically a brand that encompasses just like you, what you do, right? I help people to discover their talents, develop those talents, and to distribute it. But inside of that, there are so many different ways. So there's first the part of coaching, right? When you're helping people discover what really spurs them up, their passions, their unique passions. And then you talk about development. So that's where capacity building, trainings come in. And then finally distribution, that's where marketing comes in. So I try to do all three of them because they work together. You don't want to have a talent and nobody knows you have a talent. So you have to develop that talent and find platforms where you can distribute it. So I help with people, whether it's private entrepreneurs or career civil servants or knowledge workers or even self-employed professionals to find their niche that they can basically just thrive in.
Okay, so how did you stumble into all of this?
So it's a good question. I think I discovered mine early because my mom was a guidance counselor. So she discovered early on that I had a need to help people. I like helping people, and so she kind of gave me the right books. So I started reading this journey of personal development when I was as young as 12 years old, and she was buying me books that were like Stephen Covey. And so when I read them then, I didn't fully understand what many of the things meant, but as I got older and you reread those texts, then you start to really appreciate because you have now your own personal experiences to draw from. So I kind of started that journey early, back in school, secondary school, university, and it just continued that way.
Okay, but what did you study?
So for my first degree, I studied business administration, even though my dad wanted me to study accounting, but I knew that was not my forte. So I conveniently forgot to write my exam number on my accounting tests for the WAEC, so it came out as absent. And that was it. I got admission for business administration, which really was what I wanted to do. So I did that on the first course and then did my master's in entrepreneurial practice. And since then I've been studying different courses. So not like master's program, as diplomas and short-term courses, just to get better at what I do.
Okay, wait. So after school, how did you actually get into this field? Is wanting to study something to know that you have a potential for something, but how did you begin to create a business that deals with these areas of your strength?
So I had to go work for someone first. I found out, that they were recruiting. It was a consulting firm, HMB Consulting. They're no longer in existence, but I started working with this lady, Habiba, and she took me under her wing and she coached me. After a year, I decided to float my own thing, and so one thing led to another. When people would come to my office, so my consultancy was first based on branding. So I'll help people do their logo design, come up with a name, fonts, materials, websites. And then along the way, I realized that most of the people that were coming to me were not coming to me because I had the best websites. They were coming to me because I was advising them on how best to grow the business beyond just doing a logo or doing a website. I was giving them tips of where to grow marketing, how to position your brand, all of those things. And as I was doing that, it became obvious to me that perhaps I should lean much more towards coaching and personal development as opposed to just sticking with branding, and that's how I diversified into that.
So what I see that you evolve from one thing to the other.
To the next, yes. Sometimes opportunity finds you, sometimes you find opportunity. So in this case, it's found.
And that it also strikes that sometimes you don't need to understand the entire picture. You just need to start, right?
You need to start with what you have. Like you may not know what tomorrow. I mean, I tell people all the time, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. At the beginning of this year, I didn't know I would be doing what I'm doing today. So in some of the businesses I'm doing today. So, but you have to start, and then you go out there. What I believe is that what you're looking for is looking for you. And so sometimes you may not even know what you're looking for. It's not clear to you, but you know you have an inkling of where you should be pursuing, or maybe you think you're meant to be more what. You're not very clear about that more yet. Sometimes the opportunity will come find you, and then you jump on it.
So when you look at the average business, when the average business person comes to you, what are the things you look for in a business case that helps you guide and direct them to help them grow, blossom, to go from obscurity to prominence?
First of all, I have to be sure that I'm not doing a Me Too business. So a Me Too business is, Adamo is doing this, and Adamo is successful. And so
Me too.
Nice. Somebody else wants to join Adamo in doing that business. So there's no passion, and so there's no ingenuity, there's no creativity, none of that. You're just trying to copy Adamo. And that's a sure path to failure. So I have to understand, first of all, what's your own brand DNA, what speaks to you. You may go into a field that is already crowded, but then you have a unique perspective, you have a new viewpoint on what you want to do. It could be, everybody's already doing videography, for example, right? But then you have a voice and you say, look, I want to do documentaries that have focused on this, and my documentaries will be 15 minutes long, to be focused on this. Then I know that yes, you definitely have a voice or a perspective that needs to be shown, and then we can then guide you on what platforms will be the right ones to do and what partnerships you should do. So I have a kind of a formula I usually use people. So I'll ask you, okay, fine, all markets are you trying to target, and then what's your message to the markets, and then which messengers would you prefer to align with? So once you understand that matrix of the markets, the message, the messengers, and then finally the medium you want to use, because everybody has a different medium that they want to express themselves. So some people will prefer face-to-face, some people will prefer social media, some people will prefer to be on Zoom. So it really depends on your personality, right? If you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert, then the mediums I would choose would be radically different from the mediums you would be comfortable with. So I have a discussion with the person, understand the personality of that person, because that personality will also shine through the brand. Some people are big thinkers and want to just do things, have a big picture and, tell people what to do. But some people are very much more into the details and they want to be focused on every moving part. So it's really understanding who are you as a person, and then how does that then tell a story in your brand, so that way you can infuse your personality into your brand, and then hopefully the right people that you're looking for, right, that you can easily grow with, will come to you.
Fantastic. I've heard you say so many things. First of all, that there's a business method or there's a business idea for every kind of person, right? And secondly, most of the time, my personality will shine through my business and the methods I choose to deploy the business, the platforms I choose to use. That's interesting, because sometimes the world tries to put you in a box. You have to be this kind of person to do this and that and that. What we're saying on the show is that, look, every person is unique. Every person has strengths, has weaknesses, has their potentials, and then you just need to discover you and do you, and then showcase you to the world, because there's value. And
you'll shine through. You'll find your space. I've been involved in different kinds of businesses over the last 10 years. Different kinds from different industries. Mostly because people want to partner with me in terms of the marketing perspective and strategy. So I'll usually have a piece of the business, maybe 20% of the business or 50%, depending on what the indices is. But again, it's really much more about, do we have the type of personalities that don't clash, and can we choose to disagree in terms of, and then how do we work together to see that even if we disagree on the points, right? We do what's best for the business and not what's best for both individuals. So I think it's critical for entrepreneurs, especially now in the country today. A lot of people, young people, are complaining about almost everything because there's high inflation, there's high employment, there's high crime rates. Everything is going high, and then the naira is going down in value. So it kind of puts you in, what can I do? And rather than just throw your hands and say, well, it's everybody that's suffering it, it's pervasive, it's personal, I try to say, calm down and think of, with my personality, who can I work with? Who can I work with? Who do I align with best? What are my strengths? And you must know the edge of your competence, right? If I'm not good in communicating, then I would find what I'm good at, and then I will partner with somebody who is good in communicating. So I think that's something that I won't say necessarily want to generalize, but a lot of people are not good in partnerships. They don't know how to form it. They don't know. They want all for me. But I think if moving forward, if you really want to grow like the Asians, especially the Indians, right? We need to learn how to pair, and there are different kinds of partnerships. I've been spearheading partnerships even here in Abuja in terms of in real estate sector, but now I want to see that happening across all sectors, right? If you want to open say for example, you found your talent is to give people massage services and you're really good at that, rather than try to go and set up by yourself, I would rather encourage you, go partner with a hotel, right? They already have a stream of visitors coming there. Give them a free service, like a free foot massage for every guest, and they can put it as part of their service. And then you can upscale from that. So understanding who am I best, who is an easy sell, who are my customers or my target audience, and then how can I go partner with someone that already has the attention of those customers. I think that will make everybody much more money, and it will be a lot easier. So that's something to shoot at.
I think that's very important, the power of collaboration, synergy, and building partnerships, because you really cannot do it alone. I think you go further when you go with somebody else who's like you said, who has already found that market, so you don't have to go breaking new ground.
Yeah.
You can see that Ebuka, this is just him. He's already giving us ideas and all of that. But then you must be a very rich man if you have stakes in several companies.
Made for more with Maya.
Welcome back from that break. We're still talking career as a tool for expressing potentials, vision, mission, and purpose, but impact, influence, and income. And I still have Mr. Ebuka Anichebe with us. And just before I went on the break, he was sharing some amazing tips and insights. I want to ask you a question. If people say that, or the first time you ask someone, what do you want to do? They say, I want to start a business. And they tell you, but I don't have capital. I want to ask, do you think capital is the most critical requirement for starting a business? You just talked about collaboration and partnerships. Now let's link it to the fact that people place so much emphasis on capital. Because I'm seeing that you can actually start without capital in terms of naira and kobo. So I'd like you to speak to that.
Okay, so a lot of people talk about capital and they confuse capital for money, right? And I say it's a wrong thinking pattern. Money is capital, but capital is not money, right? In other words, a dog is an animal, but an animal is not a dog. Right? So you can have capital in form of money, which is financial capital. You can also have capital in terms of intellectual capital, right? And if you're going to call me to come join your bank and I have 20 years of experience in investment banking, then that's the capital. I can ask for 20% stake in the bank, or 10% stake, or 5% stake, depending on what I feel I'm bringing to the table, right? So I have intellectual capital. If you ask me to, as a celebrity, so say for example a Rihanna, right? You come up with your own beauty or makeup line or fashion outfit, and you say, "Oh, Rihanna, I want to be my partner." What you're actually looking for is her 16 million followers on YouTube and on Instagram, right? And so she can ask you for 50% stake in this new business, right? So in that sense, using her social capital, which is her followers and her fans. You can have capital in terms of political capital. So I may not know anything, but my father is the governor, and so I can help to get you contracts and such and such and such. So I have political capital. So you have to, nobody is born without any form of capital. It's just that you're so fixated on having naira and kobo, right? That you forget to look out at what already do you have. You may be very popular, maybe you're songstress in your church, and so you can actually have your way with asking people in your church to come to your parties and all of that sort. But people are looking at money as just a form of capital. And I say, look beyond money, because money cannot easily be converted to any form of these other kind of capital. However, every other form of capital I just mentioned, political capital, social capital, intellectual capital, and there's even erotic capital. So if you're a pretty woman, right, it's going to be easier for you to walk in and do markets and maybe market real estate or cars than if you look like me, right? So that's a different thing altogether. So you have to know what kind of capital do I have, like I can deploy in order to convert that to financial capital, and that will make you an entrepreneur.
Interesting. So we all have something that we can use today. So we don't necessarily have to wait till we have it all together, because you have something. So like you said, go and audit. What do I have?
What do I really have?
And then what do I need, right?
Yes.
And then find a way to go about it. Let's talk about it. You've built various businesses, right? I know you do something around land banking. Tell us about that.
Also, land banking is, well, it's quite simple. Abuja is a growing place because of peculiarities in Nigeria. And a lot of people are now moving into Abuja because of insecurities, either in the northeast or in the southeast. People are moving into Abuja. And so I keep advising people, you want to get into land banking. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million naira, there's a land for you, there's a land in Karachi or somewhere. And it won't always be how it is now. You can buy a land worth 1 million naira and sell it at 10 million naira. I have a friend I bought land for 40 million naira 6 years ago, and we was trying to sell it now for 200 million naira. And that's a period of 6 years, right? So land banking is really about realizing that you buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. So if you know where the development is going to, for example, right now we have a very dynamic minister that everybody knows has a pedigree for development. And so if you can get a glimpse into which areas he's looking to develop in the next couple of years, then you go ahead and buy now when the road is not tarred, when there's no infrastructure, so that down the line, when infrastructure comes there, the people that were waiting can then give you profits for doing that. So that's as simple as what land banking is. It's a sure bet way to ensure your naira isn't just losing value against the dollar. And because regardless of whether it's losing value, you can always increase the property value.
Thank you. That was free business tip. Thank you very much. So by next time I see you, viewers, I want to hear that you bought the land somewhere and we're waiting for you to appreciate.
And they bought through me.
And they bought through you.
And they bought through me.
No problem. We'll work on that. But then, so tell me about business, right? What would you define so far as the highest point for you so far in your business experience as an entrepreneur?
The highest point. I don't think
Less
I've
the
reached
highest
the
and
highest
less
and
the lowest.
The lowest and the highest. Okay, so I can. The lowest points for me, okay, so I did a business during the COVID era, and I was making a lot of money during COVID, by the way, because I knew this was going to come.
And you didn't call me.
So I mean, I'll tell you the story.
Okay then.
So we're making quite a bit of money during the COVID era because I was building this disinfection booths. People have to come through, sanitizer booths, and I realized we were importing it from out of the country, and then it was going for like 10 million, 15 million. And I said, well, why can't we do this here in Nigeria? So I got some fabricators, and we modeled something of that nature. And well, the first time I realized we weren't exactly looking to buy this. So I started leasing it out. And so churches were leasing it out for their church service, so that's build confidence in people. And they go through it and it sprays them with chemicals, and then you go. So I was making quite a bit of money. And then a friend of mine came to me and gave me this idea that, oh, everybody's at home. They're not doing anything. Why don't you open a crowdsourcing investment company, and then we can invest, their money as a pool fund into XYZ. And we did it for the first round because I had a friend that was running a business somewhere in Ife, and he was doing good with his agriculture, and he was promising people 80% return on investment. So I said, okay, fine, we'll get people's money and invest in his thing. It went well. We were promising them 40% just to hedge our bets, right, in case something went wrong. The first 6 months was a score, so it was 6 months to harvest. So at harvest time, we paid them back their capital and 40% return on investment. And everybody thought I was genius. Everybody was hailing, oh, Ebuka is this. And so the next time, people came in with even more money. And then things went south with my friend's business. And it went down, and I knew people everybody that brought in this money was to the tune of about 200 million. And this was people that knew me and people that trusted me. So it was on me. It wasn't even my partners. It was me that raised the money as the chief marketing officer. So I had to, find ways to get that sorted. I sell some of my own land and I had to settle everybody back. So that was the really low point. I think I grew majority of my white goatee during that period, that 1 year period. So it was like I was on top of the world during 2021, and then the whole of 2022 was a mess. But luckily, I've settled everybody. No, my name didn't come out on Insta blog or anywhere, so that went without. And people, I guess, understood that okay, it wasn't your fault, but even though it's not your fault, you're taking responsibility for that, and they appreciate that.
Okay, because I'd like us to throw more light on this experience you had, because some people, after a bad experience, think, I mean, this is not for me, just shut down completely. But you see, so what were some of the things, the special skills you deployed, right, that helped you go through that phase in terms of maybe, for example, communicate to the partners, you didn't run away, out of pressure. So just share, for example, speak to somebody who maybe is going through a low moment now in business, has had a rough season and is not sure what next to do. So what do you have for that person from that experience?
From that experience, number one, realize it's not over, right? It's a blip. It's a blip in your journey. And without this kind of experiences, what stories do you have? You need this kind of things to also toughen your character. And so I will tell you, before giving up, right? Talk to people. Have somebody. You don't need to have a community, like people say you have community of people that are supporting you. Not everybody has their own thing, but if you have somebody to talk to, find that person to talk to. Realize it's not permanent, right? This too will change. Something will happen, and something did happen. While I was trying to get money, so with the money I could salvage, there was then during that period there was a in crypto. So I do cryptocurrency trading. There was a boom in cryptocurrency, and so I took their money and put it into cryptocurrency, and then it just kind of rose with the tide. So I was able to offset about 70% of the debts using just a bit of the money that we could salvage. So realize it's not permanent. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to have the thinking and the self-confidence in yourself, and always be willing to improvise. Just because one door is closed, look for the window, look for the gate, look for something else, come through the ceiling. But never just give up because you're fixated that this is the only way. You must then, at a point, start to deploy what we call divergent thinking as opposed to convergent thinking. So you can say, okay, fine, this is no longer working. In what other ways can this work? And to the extent to which you can do this, I think you can become successful, right? Regardless, and you can overcome that. So don't be so sure of what you want that you're unwilling to see a better way. Sometimes the universe, God, may be showing you a different way and giving you this as a blockade so you can see something different. So be on the lookout for that.
Some deep lessons there. So you shouldn't allow failures define us in life. It's just an incident. It shouldn't shape your entire life. You should have the ability to bounce back again. Now, something just occurred to me while you were speaking. You know how someone can say, Mr. Ebuka does many things, and people want to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses because I want to be a serial entrepreneur, right? But I guess there's a formula to maybe starting out, establishing one, building credibility in one, and maybe the other ones come as a spin-off from that one. What would you say to someone who is a multi-potentialite, who I can do this, I can do that? Because it can also be to, lack of focus and just being everywhere, not doing anything. So how do you address that whole scenario?
So I had that problem maybe 10 years ago when I was still fresh in the entrepreneurial business. But now, recently this year, we moved my family to Kenya, right? So I'm trying to start a new base there in East Africa. So Kenya is the giant of East Africa and Nigeria is the giant of West Africa. So we're trying to start that. And an opportunity came up. Someone came with a huge restaurant, huge. And he said it was a restaurant at the club in Nigeria. Used to run it before. During COVID, he came back to Nigeria, didn't come back there. So the business is going down because the owner of the business cannot, he's old, he's much older, so he can't maintain the business. So when I got there, they said, oh, would you like this business? We can give it to you, 1 week. But I realized I was new in town, I was less than a month old, I don't have the social capital to bring people into this thing. So I declined them because I was looking for a different opportunity that would perhaps get me social capital. So maybe a radio program or a TV program that I can be anchoring on for a period of time, get a social capital, then I can direct them. So I may be a serial entrepreneur, but I know the edge of my competence. So I don't try to dabble. I don't try to get into finance or get into HR management with employees, records, and all that. No, I understand what I'm good at, so I can deploy that skill in different businesses. So I'm a marketer at heart. I can sell stuff. So I deploy that skills in different businesses. I don't try to be an engineer. I don't try to be anything else than what I am. So I stay within my lane. So that way I don't feel like I'm stretched. It's like when I'm done with this business, right? I think things are moving on, then I can pay attention to another business. And I'm still doing the same skill. So it's a repeatable and scalable thing that I can do. So I tell people, you should do the same thing. If, for example, the guy right behind the camera, if he chooses he's doing this, you can't say he's going to be stuck on this. If there's a movie role and he feels that he can also do something, he can do that. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're multi-potential, find out what you can start with now. What skill sets do I have currently that I can deploy with ease? That you can wake me up tomorrow morning and say, hey, come and do this, and you can just jump out of bed and get it done. And to the extent to which you can do that on an ongoing basis, then why not? Don't be seduced by jack of all trades. No, if you can do that and be master of all, why not? Why not? So that's where I am right now, and that's what I would tell anybody that's a multi-potentialite. You have different skills. Start with the one that you think can give you the quickest results, because you don't want to start with the hardest one. Why? Because you may lose. But if you get one that's already giving you money and you're getting feedback and you're getting adulation, it could be because people do business for different reasons. Sure. People don't do business just for money reasons. People could do business because they want to be popular within a particular space. It could be because their mom encouraged them to do it and they don't want to let their mom down, for different reasons. So find your reason, find your why, and then deploy your why where you think you can get the best results, because you will need it. Business is tough, but if you're getting results in this business and then you start another business, you're not getting results, you get confidence from this business that because I can do this, right, then I can also do this. So you need that source of resource building within yourself, and that's business you start. No matter whether it's chin business, whether it's pure water business, no matter how small, as long as it's successful, it reminds you that you're a success, and then that's really what you need to keep pouring yourself up every morning.
An excellent point there. You said some very critical things. First of all, it doesn't matter what business it is. Because sometimes we think I must do something big, but a small thing, consistent at the small thing, makes you a master.
Yes.
And then you can elevate and expand and grow from there. So start small, but keep at it and be consistent and keep going. You mentioned your mom earlier. What beyond your mom, who are some people who have been major influences in your life?
Oh, there are many. It's plenty.
Okay, give us 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so everybody that's mentored me basically along the journey has been there's Mrs. Ebuka. She took me when I was coming into the personal development space. Took me like a son, right? Gave me quite a number of jobs with the biggest government institutes at the time, and she believed in me, And it's not easy to find people that believe in you. And so when you find that, you appreciate that. She believed in me way before anybody, way before anybody else thought I could speak to MDs and CEOs of top oil companies. She said that there's something about this young man, and she introduced me to her people, and that has been a blessing. Then there's Mr. Demola, is moved out of Nigeria, but he also believed in me, took me under his help, and coached me like a father. I lost my father then, and I was thinking, what should I do? And he coached me in this business. He also has a trading company, so he coached me along that line. And my wife as well. When I didn't have confidence to start, she pushed me and she believed in me, and she said, "Look, you got this," And her confidence in me gave me confidence in myself, because she was seeing something I couldn't see. And so sometimes the person you're with acts as a mirror to you. And if they tell you, the mirror tells you look fabulous, then maybe you look fabulous, right? So she kind of mirrored what I couldn't see for myself, and she saw that in me. So yeah, those are 3 people I would think I would always be eternally grateful.
At this point, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back shortly.
Made for more with Maya.
Welcome back from the break. It's been an engaging, exciting, and deeply inspiring interview with Mr. Ebuka. Before we went on the break, we're just having conversations on people, the greatest influences on his life so far. Doesn't matter how good you are, there are times you need someone to give you a helping hand. That's what a mentor does. They give you a shoulder, a platform to ride upon. And so I'd like Ebuka to speak more around the need and the role for mentors in whatever industry you choose to get into.
So, two things. The two players right here. You have the mentee, you have the mentor, right? So some people ask me, how many mentors do you have? As much as you can, right? I have a number of mentors, physical mentors, faraway mentors that I read their books, and I. So what's mentorship? Mentorship is somebody taking you by the hand and being able to guide you in ways that you perhaps don't even just fully understand that you need. I'll give you a case in point. I was writing proposals to government agencies, and my mentor, Ms. Ebuka, told me, "Okay, you write very well, but we have a problem with your proposal." I said, "What is that?" He said, "The people you're targeting are people like me, and we're in our 50s. We're not young people like you in your 20s. Then I was still in my 20s. So he said, we're not young people like you. So we all wear glasses. Our eyesights are bad. So can you increase your fonts from your fonts 10 to fonts 12, 2013, even 14? And
as simple as that.
I thought about it. He said, yes, because when I see your proposal and it's too small, then it registers as stress in my mind. And that's the last thing you want people to be thinking about. Like, this is so stressful, because then they won't be able to read it. So that was like a big shift. I've never would have even thunk it like that this may be a problem for somebody else. So that's what a mentor can help you do. You want somebody that has gone the path, that has actually done this, has evidence that they've done this over and over again, and then you find that person and see if there's a fit. So you don't want somebody that doesn't have time for you. You don't want to have somebody that thinks you're a bother. You want somebody that also wants to give back, because they realize that they are the sunset era of their own career, and they're looking for somebody that they can hand over their experiences. And it's a blessing for both people. For me, the mentor, when people come to me and say, "Oh, please mentor me in this," and I evaluate that our personalities align, and I say yes. When you're asking me questions, that's when I fully realize and appreciate how far I have come. Because you do not know what you know until you ask the question. So when somebody asks you a question, then you realize, oh wow, this is what I think about this. So that's number one. Secondly, on the part of the mentee, it will save you time. Having a mentor will save you time.
Absolutely.
It will save you time from making mistakes. It will save you time from going back and forth and trying this and this and that into the family. So you're experimenting, but the mentor already has the experience from this experiment. So you're relying on the experience, and you no longer need to experiment, right? So that's like a learning cycle that you've cut short. What else could you possibly be a mentor? When you want to give up, your mentor will tell you, "I know this is natural."
It happens.
It happens. Because as a newbie, you don't know what the business cycle of any industry is. But a mentor that's been there will say, "Oh no, during this period, nothing happens, and it's normal. Don't hit yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Don't hit yourself head on the wall. Calm down. Try again at this time." That's when. So this is born from experience. You can't treat that. You won't even read that in the book. It will come from you actually having hit your head on the wall. You turn back to your mentor and say, "Hey, see, this is what I'm trying to do, and I don't know why it's not working. What can I do?" And they will be able to tell you, to rely on the experience and tell you, "Have you tried this? Have you tried that?" And also, there's also the network that your mentor already possesses that he can also open up to you and bring you into. So that would have cost you, that social capital would have cost you so many years. But because your mentor has confidence in you and is trying to help you, you probably just make a phone call and things start to happen for you. So by all means, choose a good mentor, choose a great mentor that isn't afraid of your success. Because don't get it wrong, Maya, I've seen people, they may show you the road. This guy he said your mentor, he showed you the road, and then he will now stand as a guard against you progressing on that road. So shine your eye. Just because you pick somebody as a mentor, the person just for whatever reason decides to mentor you, doesn't mean that overtaking is not allowed. Sometimes, because of your unique insights in the market, because of some other gifts that you may have, you may even start to see yourself progress faster than your mentor. That's fine. Pick a mentor that is on his own or her own is self-confident, right, and secured in their space. That they don't mind to see you shine. They don't mind to see you blossom and grow. And even if their sunset is there and your sunrise is just coming up, they're fine. They're happy for you. They're cheering you on, and that's important. But never rub rub it in your face like, oh, I've done more than you. No, don't do that. As a mentee, get a level of intellectual humility and actual humility, so that you don't make your mentor regret mentoring.
Some deep words there. Now let's take the flip side of the coin. So we spoke about the need for mentorship, right, and the role of a mentor. Now, what are the things a mentee can do to build a sustainable and beneficial relationship to his mentor? Because I mean, if a person decides to stretch out a hand to you, there are ways that you should be able to nurture that relationship, make it worthwhile for the person. So let's speak to that.
So first of all, I think every mentee, don't come to a mentor because the mentor, number one, is you choose him as a mentor because he already has results. People that have results are busy people. So don't assume that he owes you. He doesn't owe you anything. If you want to get a good mentor, be willing to give first. Be willing to be generous first. And that's the first thing. So out of whatever skill you have, be willing to give. Oh, sir, I noticed that your website doesn't have this. I want to do that for you. And I used to do that a lot. Oh, sir, I'm very good at writing. Can I be helping you to write your speech or look through? Oh, sir, and you're constantly giving. You become a resource, and the person is looking at this young person and saying, oh wow, this person is so helpful in order to do this, right? And so that when you ask, it becomes easy for someone to say yes, because it's a relationship, it's tit for tat. So don't assume that I want to give to you first. No, you want something from me, you should be willing to give to me first, so that when you ask, then it makes it so much more difficult for me to say no. I'll have to find something to do. So you as a mentee, be smart enough to go out there and give first before expecting anything in return.
That's a very, very fundamental point, because some people walk up to you and say, mentor me, but they're not willing to, they're not really, they don't think, I think first of all, some people don't even think they have anything to offer to you as a mentor. Because he's clearly said that it could be a skill you have, and you see a gap in your mentor's business or whatever they do, and you think that your skills can help you fit into that role. So think, what do I have? It doesn't have to be. I think we need to shift that from thinking money always.
Yes. Just your time. So I see you're doing something in an event. I want to volunteer in this event and help you to bid. Right? So you give of that. Oh, so I want to do your makeup. I want to do this. Oh, my brother does photography. I want to bring that person to. And you bring that to the table. That's number one. Number two is, don't assume that your mentor wants to rehash his past. Especially if your mentor already has like a book or a resource. Consume all of that first before coming to your mentor. Because if you say, oh, sir, you go to a Oyedepo and say, sir, mentor me, he asks you, how many of my books have you read? And you've not read anyone. Then why should he waste his time? He has already spent time
putting those things,
But if you say, oh, I've read this and I've read that and I read that, then he's impressed with that. He says, okay, fine, what's your business? So that's the best way of flattery. You want to find out everything about your mentor, every resource, every interview he's had, consume that, so that when you meet him, you say, sir, on your YouTube, he said this. Now he's impressed. So go out there, consume everything before you actually approach your mentor to tell you, please mentor me.
Some fantastic insights there. And I hope that we not just listen, but able to put these tips to work, because they work and they would give you results if you choose to put them to work. We're fast running out of time, but just before you go, what's your final word for our audience out there?
To the audience out there, I'll constantly tell, look, number one, believe in yourself, constantly believe in yourself. But while you're believing in yourself, realize that you have to grow. You have a God-given gift. Find it. When you find it, develop it. When you develop it, let your light shine. Stand on a pedestal and shout it out to the world. Distribute it as far as possible. Realize that with the internet, there is no excuse. What people may not realize, what people may not fully appreciate in wherever you're living. I don't know where you're living. You're watching this in Ekiti State, right? But in Ekiti State, they may not fully appreciate your potential. Go and look for your tribe. There's somewhere. They may not even be in Nigeria. They could be in Canada, or with the internet, right? Realize that you can put out your voice out there, and what you're looking for is looking for you, and it will find you. So keep believing.
Thank you so much. Keep believing, keep learning, keep growing, keep shining. Realize that you have something of worth that your world needs. And the earlier you find it, discover it, and put it out there, the better for you. Once again, it's been the Made for More with Maya show, where we seek to help you, guide you on the journey of self-discovery, development, deployment, and then unleashing you to reveal that more which we believe you carry in you to your world for influence, impact and income. Just before we go, just to say that our email address is madeformoreshow@gmail.com. And if you ever need to reach out to our guest anymore, I mean, he's talking about the internet, I'll leave you to go find him. But just in case you want a deeper work with him, if you send us a mail, we can, hopefully, I hope you're open to that. Great, then we can hook you up with him. But like he said, he taught us about mentorship today, what you should do as a mentee. Go do your homework first of all. And then you can reach him directly or send us a mail, and then we'll ensure that we hook you up, because we want to see you rise and become the best you can be. And on this note, we say thank you. We come to the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time with us, because we enjoyed ourselves here. So please watch, and send us your comments. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Once again, my name is Maya. Have a good day.
Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.
You are made for more.